Okay, hi, I'm Carmale White. I'm interviewing Rhonda Green. Rhonda, could you give us a history of your career and background experience?
Yes, my name is Rhonda Green. I graduated from Prairie View A&M University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering. I went to work with General Dynamics, and I have worked at multiple aircraft companies. My job title is as a structural design material review board liaison engineer. What I do is I design repairs for aircraft structure that is damaged to make sure that our planes can keep flying.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like an amazing job. Interesting. You got a lot of experience within the Boeing company.
Yes.
So the purpose of this interview is for my leadership course at Maryville University. So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions and just give me an honest answer.
All right.
Okay, so the first question is, how do you motivate a team?
Ooh, motivating teams. That is interesting. It's not just one answer because on a team, you have multiple people. Some people are motivated just by recognition. Some people are motivated by just that feeling of accomplishment. So before you can motivate a team, you've got to learn about your team members. What does this one like? What does that one like? And as a leader, I figure out what I need to do to make them all happy. Then I take them out to dinner when the project is over. That makes them happy too.
So it kind of sounds like you like the situational style management system, like you handle different employees accordingly, and manage them differently depending on their skill set or their personality.
Yes, it's all about their emotional intelligence, their 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 work capabilities. What can they do? What they're bringing to the project. And because of what they need to bring is how you have to motivate those employees to get that information.
It sounds good. All right. So my next question is, how do you delegate tasks?
I delegate tasks based on the capability of the employee. Now, there are some situations to where I know that employee has not done that task before,
Yeah.
but it will be an opportunity for them to learn and stretch their skills. Because as a manager, it is my responsibility to train up the future managers.
Okay. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. All right. How do you encourage employee development?
Well, I'm a person that believes in Toastmasters International and what it does. It has an excellent communication and leadership program to help them be able to communicate their ideas clearly, to help them deal with conflict resolution, and to help to prepare them to be leaders in the future.
Um, how do you measure your own performance at work?
That's a good one. Okay. In the current position I have, I am a working management type person. I have a certain amount of work that I have to accomplish. Not only do I have to do the work, but I have to train others at the same time. I have matrix. I have things. If I get a job in and it's a simple job, it should not stay at my desk longer than 30 or 40 minutes. And I keep a record of everything I do. My time card that I have to turn in depends on how much time I spend on each and every last project. Now, I do have some projects that last 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 weeks. But in general, we try to keep it down to a 1.5 hour turnaround on any job or any problem that we have to support the aircraft.
Sounds good. The next question is, how do goals help you become a better leader?
In order to become a better leader, you have to look at yourself, evaluate your performance, and see what you need to do to change, to grow, to be a better leader. I also believe in using a 360 review, and I'm not afraid to give it to the ones that I work with and let them give me an evaluation to where I can see in what areas I need to improve. Do I need to communicate with them more often? Do I need to tell them more details, more information? Are they getting the right tools they need to do the job? But when I give them that 360 review, there's no hand slapping. Yeah. Okay. I give it to them and I say, put it in a box. Don't even write your name on it. Okay. That way I don't have to know, oh, you said that to me. Okay. You said that about me. No. Right. But it's just like I have to give them evaluation and reviews every year. My boss, the director of engineering, has to review me too. So by having their input, it helps me develop my goals for the next year to make sure that I'm also stretching and growing. I believe in leading by example. Yes. Don't ask anybody to do something that you won't do yourself. Okay.
You know what? When I was a lead mechanic, I believed in that as well. Being that, hands on with my team and leading by example, showing them that I'm willing to get down and dirty with them. Mm-hmm. So that way they feel more comfortable putting in the work with me or while I'm not there. So just building that relationship and building that trust. Mm-hmm. But you hit on a lot of things that we discussed in my class, so far. And basically just doing a self evaluation and looking at ways that you can grow yourself. And I like that you got seems like you got a lot of leadership skills and a lot of experience in leadership.
Well, I learned those skills both ways, not only in my 44-year career, but in Toastmasters, because I'm a leader in the Toastmasters organization also. And we definitely believe in that 360 review to help us know better on how to get to know our employees, to stretch them, to help them to grow.
So my next question would be, how do you handle conflict on a team?
Now, I'm going to ask you, am I causing the conflict or is this two of my team members that have conflict?
Yeah, it's conflict between two other team members.
Well, if two of my team members are having conflict, I pull them aside from the rest of the team. And I say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be adult and we're going to respect what's going on. Because sometimes it's just a miscommunication.
Yeah.
One does not understand exactly what a person means. And then we take turns, they each take turns and say, well, this is where I stand on this project. And the other can say, well, why? Why do you stand there? What, what's your basis for it? And then the other person gets to say, well, this is what's going on. This is how I see it. And they can ask each other questions to get a better understanding.
Sure.
So that in the end, they can say, okay, well, I understand what you need to do, but that's good, but we need to add this to it to make it better so that we can come out with a win-win.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and another question I want to ask is, do you believe that you should set the bar and have employees rise to those standards, or do you believe that you should meet employees where they're at and help build them up and, work with them until they get to the level where they are, confident in the job?
In every job, you have brand new employees who come in the door. You could not expect a brand new employee to work at the same level as a senior employee who has been there for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
What I like to do is I get that brand new employee started and I pair them with that senior employee. That way, as the new person is learning their skills, the senior person is learning how to be a better leader.
Sure.
Okay, you can't come in the door, pick up a rivet gun, and get to working. Not in this industry. You got to have some education, training, and then once you get in the facility, you have to have on the job training. You need that tribal knowledge from those senior members who have been here and done that. So I believe in pairing them together. And I know where you are. And when I give you your evaluation, I say, well, this is where you are now. In 6 months, you should be at this level. In 1 year, you should be here. In 1 year, when a new person comes in, you should be able to help move them up to where you are.
Sure. So the next question is, how do you deliver feedback to your team?
If it's a situation that involves the entire team, we have a weekly team meeting.
Right.
And I say, this is what's going on, team. This is what we're doing. This is what we need to correct. If it's an individual, then I pull them in the office, close the door, and say, this is what's going on. This is how it's being done. That's not correct. And this is how it needs to be done. Do you need any training in this area to make sure that you can do it? Was this a one off? But I wouldn't be talking to you if it was a one off. I'll tell you that for sure. Because everybody makes mistakes. But if it's something that's repetitive, I have no problems with pulling the plug because I don't like to take people out the door. You know, they have families to support. Right. These jobs are important to them. So I treat them with respect, same as I expect them to treat me. To say, this is going on, this is wrong. How can we change it? In the world nowadays, there are no people who do anything alone. Everything is done with a team concept.
Like that answer. Okay. So my next question is, how would you describe your relationship with employees in the past?
Huh. I have never had any problem with a fellow employee in the past or a sub-level employee in the past. I have had a little problems with a manager above me in the past, but sometimes we work jobs every day because we got bills to pay just like everybody else. You know, you take a deep breath, you go home, you let it go. I ask myself real quick, a week from now, will this little minor thing, will it even make a difference? Yeah. If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, I say, okay, well, what about 3 months from now? Will it make a difference to you? 6 months, will it make a difference to you? Will it make a difference to my career path? If it'll make a difference to my career path, then that means that I have to say, I need to have a meeting with you to discuss this issue because it needs to be resolved. Other than that, I let it go and move on because most things are so minor that it's just something that annoys you momentarily anyway. Just because somebody wants to do something a different way than you do it. Right. The bottom line is the final answer, the final result, what is needed by the company, not by me individually.
All right. So the last question that I'm going to ask you is, there are many ways to show respect to others. What ways work best for you? Give me a specific example.
I respect employees below me and above me the exact same way I want to be respected. If there is something that I need for them to do, I contact them and tell them, I need you to do this. If it has to be done a specific way, I say, and it needs to be done this way because blah, blah. I don't expect them to read my mind when I say do anything. Okay. So therefore, when I talk to them, I speak to them as I want them to speak to me and I give them respect. I have employees that call me and they have personal issues. When we have that conversation, it's between me and them. Okay. We have an employee assistance program that if it's really deep, I'll say you might want to go to the EAP so that you can get some assistance with those personal issues because the company pays for it. You might as well use it, you know, but you need to learn how to leave your work life outside that door so that when you come in here, you give the company the time that you're being paid for to get a job done. Because I've been there, done that. I've had issues. We also have vacation time and PTO.
Yeah.
Okay. A personal time off. Because there are times where you just cannot deal with work because you've got family or social issues that you have to deal with. Don't bring them to work with you. When you walk in that door, let them go. Matter of fact, it might be relieving a little bit to let that stuff go for a while. Just concentrate on this. It gives your mind a chance to take a break from those issues. Then, when you're ready to deal with them, it makes it a little bit easier. No, I'm not a counselor, but I've seen many a counselor. Okay. I have no problem with therapy if I need it. And I recommend it if people need it because sometimes it helps our soul if we could talk to someone that is not directly related to the problem. And as a management type person, my employees might not necessarily want me to know their personal business like that. So therefore, I have that tool to give them that there's a professional with EAP, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, family counselors, this is that and the other, that you can go talk to. That's not your family member. That's nobody associated with your job. So you can get your stuff together. Okay? Got any more questions?
So is there any advice you can give me on, my career path and, just my leadership goals in general?
I would advise you to write them down. Write down where do you want to be 5 years from now? Where do you want to be 10 years from now? Look at where you want to be. Then break those goals down to smaller goals to where you can achieve them one at a time on your way to climbing that ladder. Because nobody starts at the bottom rung and jumps in one big bounce.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. But knowing where you want to go and then having that path to get there makes it easier for you. And know this, no matter what goal you set, goals can always be revised because life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And when life gets in the way, it's not over. It just means you need to revise it and move on. Okay?
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And I believe this was a good interview.
It's been a wonderful break for me. Thank you. Bye bye.